All right. So we are in our next episode of the podcast. Today we have on Miss Sophia Contreras. She started with us at CFT when she was young and became a coach. Struggled with confidence way back in the day. We'll talk about that. And now she's a dietitian. Uh, got that degree, which is a master's degree, while the fire was happening. And we announced last week at Barbells for Boobs that she is now an owner with Candace and I, her and her husband, of CrossFit Trussville. So she's the new co-owner. And we thought it was a great idea to have her come on and kind of talk about it all, because now she is a business owner. And I know that's new for you as well, James, with Horizon. And so, yeah, I thought we'd have a good conversation today. So welcome. You're going to have to talk.
Yeah, that's
it's part of the deal. So James and I are going to do all the talking today. Sophia's just going to listen to us. So yeah, I'll get us started. So Sophia, I was going to ask you before, because I have such a terrible memory. How old were you when you started with CFT?
I was 17.
17.
Yeah, it was in 2013.
So 12 years ago, which doesn't seem that long ago.
and you were doing gymnastics, wasn't that like your background? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
so my senior year of high school, I quit gymnastics in before the season started. So their season usually starts in September or October, and I quit around that time. And then I wasn't really doing anything. And background behind that, growing up, I had a really good friend named Ashlyn Bailey. And she was posting on Facebook, her and her dad they were using axle bars.
Mm.
And I was like, if Ashlyn can do that, I can do that. And so when I saw that she had done this CrossFit competition, I told my mom, I was like, I want to do that. And so she was like, okay, we'll find a gym, we'll look it up. It was still CrossFit was still, I would say, new in 2013. And so mom, of course, researched all the different places and different areas or whatever. And we went to one on 280. I can't remember what it was called, but I can remember the location of it. And I remember it was a really long entrance. I just remember I felt like their entrance was forever driving.
Hmm.
And when we got in there, it was very small. And it was really awkward when we walked in. I can't remember if somebody came up to us first or if we kind of stood there. I just remember it was not very welcoming. It was just very awkward for me. And I think my mom might have talked to somebody. I can't really remember. And then I was like, I don't think I want to go here. And so then somehow she found CrossFit Trussville. I think she literally just Googled it. And I was like, okay, we'll go. And so I know we came when it was at night. And we walked in and there was still the desk at the time. So we were standing in front of the desk and Andrew came up and talked to my mom. I didn't talk. I just stood there. And so mom did all the talking, this is my daughter. She wants to do CrossFit. And Andrew's like, okay, yeah, we can do a session. And I don't know if it happened, if I did my session that night or if you had to schedule for me to come in. I can't remember, but we went through, I remember I was rowing. I remember rowing and I remember he had me on the rig, Andrew did, and he was like, gymnastics background, right? And he was like, can you do a pull-up? And I was like, yes. And so I stood under the
I didn't know.
So I jumped up on the rig and coming from gymnastics, you don't kip. Everything is strict.
Mhm.
And so I just did a pull-up and I dropped back down and I stood there and he's like, can you do another one? And I was like, yes. So I did one.
Also, no girls ever are like, hey, I'm interested in doing CrossFit the first time. By the way, I can do strict pull-ups, multiple. Just right off the rip. So,
Yeah, and I was almost going to interrupt you and just ask, you stopped gymnastics and then you saw a friend doing it, but what
Mhm.
about it? Like you said, Mom, I want to do that, but what was it that made you want to go do that? Was it because you enjoyed the competitive side, or that you saw competitions happening, or what
So
made you want to do it?
that's funny. When I once I got into CrossFit, I was like, I am not competing. I am done competing. But For me, it was more like my dad grew up like as a power lifter. We always had weights in our garage. My brother Vinny always was working out. And so like I had that background of like lifting. Like I never lifted before, but like my dad was like my mom and dad always were like, "You're so strong." Like pretty much like you could do anything, like if you wanted to do it. And so when I saw Ashlyn doing it, I was like, well, I can do that. Like that looks cool. Like I want to grab a barbell, or well, I didn't know it was an axle bar at the time, but I was like, I want to do a barbell and I wanted to work out again. Like coming from gymnastics, like you condition, I was at practice like 3 to 4 hours a day, like Monday through Friday. And then like that just stopped. And so I was like, I really, obviously, I don't even know like in between that time before October through February, like what I was doing. But I was like, I just want to work out again and like do something like with my time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I had zero interest in competing. So yeah, when I saw Ashlyn doing it, I was like, I can do that.
And why I wanted to ask you too, because I competed heavily in the past too, and same thing, multiple sessions a day. A lot of people don't or can't appreciate if they've never competed at a high level, like your whole life is consumed by it. You're not just working out for 3 or 4 hours a day. You're also your diet, your sleep, your stress, who you hang out with, what you say yes to is dictated by that sport. So when you got to the point of like, I don't want to compete anymore, what was the mindset of, yeah, flipping to, yeah, I do want to compete? Like, how did you go back to that?
Um, I think my first competition was with Anna, and it was Charlie's Angels in
Mm,
2014. I don't know, like, I really can't remember how that worked because I remember, like, my first year. So, yeah, I don't really know, like, what drove me to do that. I think maybe just being friends with Anna,
mhm,
and it was like a fundraiser, like, it was the childhood cancer fundraiser.
mhm.
Um, she was like, maybe she was like, "Let's do this," or like we had just talked about it, like this would be fun, but I don't really know. But I think for me, the drive came. So my first open, oh man, I think it was. I didn't do it in 2000. I think my first open was in 2014 or 15. I can't remember.
Mhm.
And then I can't track like the timeline of everything, but that's when I was like, maybe when Andrew was doing grid is when I was
That was
like,
14.
yeah, maybe that
That was
around
the
that
first year.
time, I was like, I want to get back into
Very cool.
something. Like, I just like, not like in a like, cause I don't like talk about, I hate talking about myself, but like, I realized like I had that potential, to like be good at it.
Mhm.
And I was in college. I mean, I worked at a toy store. Like, I mean, what else was I going to be doing?
What toy store did you work at?
I worked at Learning Express.
Mm.
So I know how to wrap presents very quickly. Because Christmas time was terrible because all these moms are coming in. They have like all these like presents, right? So they had this giant thing of like wrapping paper that you would like you'd pull up and then you would like rip it down and you would just like fold and flip and tape, and so it's just like a thing. And
Just
we
as
did good.
fast as you could go.
Yes, it was kind of stressful, but it was fine.
I can't wrap a present in under 20 minutes. I just give up and I
Yeah, I
just wrap
can't.
them in tape and I make it a theme like, oh, it's hilarious because it's all tape.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, I can rap. I mean, if technically the
It's
present
covered.
is wrapped, like, um, so your degree is in what? What exactly is your degree? What was your? Because I guess I'm wanting to get at. It seems like were you already planning to do like that whole field because of gymnastics, or was it more
Mm.
when you got into CrossFit that you started doing it, or is it just something you've always wanted to do?
And also,
Like,
did my vitality influence that? I was thinking about that the other day. Do you know what my vitality is?
I've heard bits and pieces of it, but not.
So it was a nutrition business we launched where we would help other gyms do nutrition.
Mhm.
So
mhm.
a lot of nutrition's hard. It really is tough. You know, and if you can understand what a carb, protein, fat is, you're doing pretty good. But most people don't, and they just eat sugar all day. So and gym owners are busy, or they don't have time, or they don't have the know-how. So started a company where we would go to other gyms and we would run nutrition challenges for them. And Sophia would be the nutritionist. She wasn't a dietitian, obviously, at this point, but she would run those.
Mm.
Yeah, did that influence it or no? It probably dissuaded you.
So, like my undergrad or like my master's?
Both. We don't know
Yeah,
how it
I
works.
Oh,
don't, yeah, I have
oh.
no clue how it works.
So when I was in college, obviously like CrossFit was like everything. And I was like, I love the body. Like I'm going to be a nurse, which was really stupid because I'm scared of needles. And so I did a semester at North Alabama thinking I was going to do like nursing. Hated being away from my parents. I came home every single weekend and I'd come to the gym because I was at North Alabama
Mhm.
and then transferred to UAB. So when I transferred, I was like, well, maybe like I'll do like occupational therapy. And so basically for that, you have to have like I mean, it's terrible. I don't even know. I know it's like a bachelor's of something. Like basically I have like exercise science and kinesiology. And then my minor was in nutrition because I enjoyed like learning about it. But at the time, to do occupational therapy, you had to go back to school for 2 years, which is hilarious because I did that. But I did some
Jeez.
internships, right? Because I was like, I am not going back to school, right? And I was like, because school is so hard for me. And I did like an internship at this like assisted living facility for like occupational therapy. And at the time, because it's in 2017, my grandmother was sick. She was living at home with us. We were taking care of her. And we had moved her from Michigan and we had looked at places around potentially like to move her into. And the place that we had looked at was the one that we almost had sent her to, but it's where I was also doing like
Mm.
my observation hours or whatever. And it was terrible. And I was like, this is not the type of care that I want to like give to people. And so I didn't do occupational therapy. And then yeah, so that was until I graduated from UAB in 2017. And then Andrew, when did we do the nutrition coaching stuff?
Nutrition coaching meaning
Like
like
Candace and I got our certs at the same time for my
that would
vitality.
probably have been 2016, 17, because maybe even 18, uh, because that's right around. I know my vitality started like the first real big run where we had 15 gyms
Hmm.
was January of 17, because that's when we also moved into the new building with CrossFit Pell City and had to outfit that. And I just didn't know my name. I was up there driving to Pell City, doing all that stuff and doing my vitality. So it was definitely early 2017. So you probably got certified right before then.
Yeah. So I went through that, the nutrition cert, with NCI,
Hmm.
nutrition coaching. It's yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah. And so it was just like a certified like nutrition coach. Um, and then I mean, do you want like the timeline of like what I was doing like in between and
I,
kind of like
I'm really just curious why, like, what made you want to get into dietetics at all?
so I always had loved like nutrition and like just kind of more like the science behind it, like the way it worked, but also like I could see like the need for that.
Right.
Um, but I went more so because I mean, I like stability.
Hmm.
And at the time I was like, what am I doing? Like I I think at the time, yeah, I was GM during the time. And I was like, I just don't know, like long term, like where I'm gonna be. Andrew's always like 5 year plans, and I'm like, what's 5 weeks from now? And so I worry more about like I like concrete things, like stability. And so I knew like dietetics, like that's always something that people are gonna need. Um, and yeah, I just went back for it. And I was like, this could benefit like the gym as well, like
Hmm.
all of like the nutrition challenges that we've done, but also helping like other gyms or other people. And so I guess that's kind of being more of like serving people and like helping them in ways that they like truly need. Because you always will need like your health and wellness. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
mix of like different things, but I don't know if like my vitality was my driver.
So I thought it would be a dissuader because you worked
Yeah.
with some crazy people across the country. We did challenges locally,
Online.
and yeah, we developed an app, partnered with Level Method. Shout out to Sean Buck and Nathan. I mean, it was a big thing, and uh, worked with people in Illinois. I mean, all states all across the country.
Mhm.
And one thing we quickly learned was cultural differences in that, how people act and interact here is not how people talk and interact elsewhere.
No.
Yeah, I mean every CrossFit gym that you step into is or can be completely different, like period. And I guess
Yeah.
that's the same with like normal gyms too, but definitely like not all CrossFit gyms are created equal, in my opinion. I've walked into some when I was big into it years ago, and I'm like, y'all got to be cranking out some injuries here.
Yeah.
Like y'all have
Yeah.
got like because it's not the same. It's not coach
Mm.
led. It's you could be brand new walking in for the first time, and they're like, "There's the workout. There's the equipment. Give me my money."
Well, and I had the pleasure of talking with Dave Castro this past summer because we had just gotten in the building. You were here.
Hmm.
And then Don Fall, who's the CEO of CrossFit. And they both asked me a bunch of great questions, complimenting us on how we handle everything through the fire and leadership and communication. And where was I going with that? Oh, he was asking about like Don Fall. CrossFit's obviously they're getting purchased right now, so they're selling again, getting bought because a lot of affiliates have left, and that means less revenue. There's less people in the open, less revenue. So CrossFit, the business, is making less money. You know, and Don Fall asked me like, how is the rebrand and the sell? How much is that affecting you guys? What do your members think? And I was like, Zippo, zero. Like we love the CrossFit name. We love doing CrossFit, but at the end of the day, I program for the gym and Reboot CrossFit and Legends. I do it. I don't go to CrossFit.com and see what they send, which is great programming. But the point I'm trying to make is I told them they raised prices on the affiliates, and that made even more gyms leave a ton. And I would guess when they called, they had like a call center. Hey, we're reaching out to all the affiliate owners to talk about all the value we're going to be giving you for raising the prices. And I was like, you don't have to give me any value. I love that you're raising prices because it's going to force those gyms that are just opening the door, hoping people show up because it's called CrossFit. They're going to close because they can't afford the increased price. I was like, I love it because CrossFit Trussville is on our building, but people drive by going, nope, not doing that because I did that. Like at your gym, whatever the name was, it was either Birmingham or Rebellion back in the day, or one that may have kicked the curb pretty early.
It
Um,
was up on 280.
yeah, Birmingham,
So I
maybe
mean, I
Rebellion.
have no idea. I
Because
can see it. I
there
can
was
see
only a
it.
few athletes back in the day. So Birmingham sold new ownership. I think Rebellion, they've evolved. They're pretty good. I think they're still around, but they rebranded. But that's kind of how it was back in the day, where you just show up and yeah, come do CrossFit, but it was hyper intense and not safe oriented.
Mhm.
It's like we don't program over 75 pull-ups because your skin can't take it. You rip. It's like my dad's an orthodontist. I don't want to have bloody, nasty hands or like high rep deadlift. So yeah, I think that's the biggest weakness of CrossFit, and yeah, just trying to make the point that it doesn't affect anything. Uh, we're separated. It's a different culture. So going back to my vitality, our culture here is very healthy, very happy. You are leading class, having fun as a coach. All the athletes know each other, but not just cultural differences in CrossFit gym to CrossFit gym, but like New York City, when you talk to people up there, they don't care. The app had like we had assigned nominal values to where people could get points in the app, and one of them was like hug your husband, hug your significant other, and you would get points for that. And the person who accumulated the most points at the end of the challenge would be the winner. And it wasn't just fat and body; it was actually like stress reduction. Like go
Hmm.
go sit without your phone for 30 minutes. 5 points. That's hard, right? And we would attribute value to that. And one of them, yeah, was like, go hug your husband or plan a date. And people were livid. I'm not going on a date, this blah, blah, blah. And what I thought was going to be explaining, this is why it's good. It exhausted me. I mean, it made it to where it wasn't fun.
And it was optional.
It was
It
optional.
wasn't
You didn't
required.
lose.
Or I think I will say Candace had the harder gyms. I can't remember. I mean, I don't remember like anything crazy happening with mine. I know Candace had one that was up north and it was like during the winter time. And one of the optional points was
Mhm.
like go outside and like walk. But it wasn't like, it was just like go outside and get some fresh air.
Just go get some
And
air.
somebody was like, it's freezing. It's too cold. And I think we were just like, Candace was like, what am I supposed to like?
And they messaged like the owner, like
They were,
cliche
yeah.
Karen, like in the app, messaging the developers. Like I got, yeah, I got contacted. We all got contacted. Like, "Well, I'm not going outside walking. It's cold." It's like,
Wear a jacket.
wear a jacket.
Or you're used
Oh
to
my
living there.
gosh. We just want you to get air, not in an office. Just go get vitamin D. Um, maybe vitamin D, maybe not fresh air.
But I think
But
that's the hardest part. Like, that was the hardest part with my vitality. We're dealing with, you're dealing with so many different personalities and like just the broad like understanding of like basic nutrition. And they were like, well, everybody always is like, well, I want abs. And it's like, okay, well, we got to really like dial. There's a lot more to it than just like, you have to just, you get abs like from your 6-week challenge. Like, yeah, I mean, but it's just hard for people to like understand that and they just want that quick fix. And I'm more of like, if I'm like in like conversation with somebody like face to face, that's a lot easier for me than like virtually. And so that
mm,
was hard to like like tracking like personalities through Facebook, through like a
ooh,
Facebook group. Like that was hard
yeah.
because they come across dry or I would. And you're trying and miscommunication and that and just always you obviously want what was best for them, but it was hard to communicate that.
So
So
it
this
didn't
this
dissuade you. That makes me happy.
No, no.
so
I
this
don't think
business is still going strong?
No, no, it could have. I mean, it was really successful. We started with 15 gyms, and I mean, we had like investors, they wanted to invest for investors, and it was definitely a big business. I mean, the first month was very successful, but I tell people all the time, and you mentioned this being a dietitian. There's a Japanese concept called ikigai, and I talk about that all the time, and especially with like new business owners, because a lot of new business owners are like, I'm passionate about it, so I'm gonna start this business, and it's like you need to make money, or it's just charity, which is fine. But if you're just gonna invest a bunch of money and time into this, like you're taking time from your wife, or you're taking money from your retirement or whatever, like you need to be like pump the brakes on the emotions and make sure it's actually what you want. And with ikigai, it's 4 things: is people want it, the world needs it, you can get paid to do it, and you're good at it. And so you identified all 4 of those to be a dietitian. Like you saw like your grandmother, and you were like, the world needs this. Uh, and obviously you're good at it, and obviously people get paid to be dietitians all the time, um, and people want it too. So, um, yeah, what was I just talking about before? That making that point with ikigai.
being dissuaded.
Oh, is it so yeah, for me, my vitality was that for me too, until we got into the actual application of it and dealing with the people, and honestly the gym owners too. And it, like, the people wanting it, not so much. They're really difficult and really don't want to eat good food for a few weeks. They
Yeah.
really just want abs,
Yes.
and I'll take whatever shortcut, and there is no shortcut.
No, it's so like,
They could come up with a shot or something.
get
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah,
What?
yeah. GLP-1, those
Just
work. Those definitely work. They are very, very, very successful for sure.
This episode sponsored. No.
Yeah. So going back to that, how do you get abs, Sophia?
Oh my gosh.
It's a great question.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about bodybuilders and how they always have that belly.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get that for years as a young buck, and only to find out that that's just HGH. It's literally when you take HGH, your organs grow and it pushes on your abs, your
Well,
abdominal.
and for anybody watching, you're not the abs that Andrew's talking about is the turtle shell.
The
Mhm.
turtle shell.
Yeah,
Turtle
there's a
shell.
different the way you phrased it
Let
was
me
you
back
trying
up.
to get abs.
Yeah, I'm 36. This was back when I first started working out, and you're reading Muscle and Fitness, and you think fitness is bodybuilding. Like they're the fittest, and that's just not the case. They're probably the most unhealthy. So you read their tips like
It depends. It depends on how you go into it because Candace, she's very into that world, but she's extremely healthy. Like whole food, but that's not always the case. She's also a natural competitor
yes.
versus a lot of times to get into like the big money side of it or the super competitive side of it. I mean, you got to do enhancement stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I was leading to is what I'm talking about is Ronnie Coleman, basically. Like, how do I look like Ronnie Coleman? He must work out more, and it's like, no, he's not working out more. He has some help, and as a 18-year-old, you don't realize that he's got HGH and testosterone, and who knows what all drugs pumped into him. But I worked forever thinking I'm gonna get that turtle shell, reading all the magazines, and you literally have to take HGH. So
Dad did
it's awesome.
bodybuilding, and he said,
Your dad?
Yeah, my dad was a bodybuilder.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes. I think he did it while they were dating, and then a little bit, I think, once they got married. But yeah, he was a bodybuilder. I mean, that was back in the 80s and 90s, but he said it was the same thing. Like, you enter that world and there's people, he's just like, I just could never beat people because of the drugs that they were on.
Yeah.
But yeah, mom said that when he would cut, he'd get to the point where he was like eating baby food like the night before. Oh yeah. Because it was like the easiest thing to digest at that time.
Is that what Candace does?
That was also in the 90s.
Yeah.
I figured that was an old school
I think
thing.
I think that trade
He definitely has all the old school tips.
yeah, I think that's died off. Now, I mean, Candace, she'll get down oh, she's probably gonna punch me if she watches any of this and I don't have it right. But I mean 1100 calories a day, something like that. They never she never really regulated water. People get into that, and whatnot. The only time that they would start to look at her water intake would be like right at like peak week or something like that. But it was just living in that calorie deficit
Mhm.
for such a long period of time and still trying to go into the gym. And you're not trying to build, you're trying to maintain more than
Right.
anything at that point when you're cutting down. So
And that's tough conversation too.
Oh
When
my
you first
gosh.
talk, it's like, hey, you want to lose weight and you want to get stronger and gain muscle.
And that's how I started. I'm like, can't have the best both worlds.
Yeah. And
Gotta choose a path.
how often, this is for both of y'all, because I feel like I probably know the answer, but I think it's a good one. How often do you see people come in with one mindset and quickly change? Because, like you said, there's so many people that are like, I want to join CrossFit to lose weight and I want to look ripped and this, that, and the other.
Mm.
And then they start doing deadlift. And the next thing you know, you're like, you still want to lose weight because I've started taking mass gainer. I've started taking extra, trying to get these calories in so I can start lifting. How often do you see that mindset change for people?
I'll have to think about that one. I think more obviously like in females, obviously like females are gonna, I want to tone up. I want to lose weight. I want to get bulky. That's my favorite one. I don't want to get bulky.
Yes.
And I get that. Like previous experiences at different places. But I would say like I can't like pinpoint an athlete like a like picturing somebody having that conversation, but I definitely have seen like a shift in I think it's like the confidence, like our reboot athletes
Mm-hmm.
who have never experienced a barbell. And then, our hybrid membership is where you can do both, like CrossFit and reboot. Um, and when we moved into the new building, we were able to like expand on that and do more like we like basically like leveled up, like upgraded memberships. And so they had that opportunity to like lift and like work out with a barbell. Um, and I think I don't know if like it changed their like the like I don't want to like get bulky or like that type of thing, but I think it just kind of showed them that it's not scary, and the big weights that you see other people using, it took time to get to that point. And like your starting place is probably going to be like a barbell with maybe fives or tens on. And you're lifting probably equivalent what you would in reboot if I had 235 dumbbells and I had a barbell with
Right.
tens. It's just shaped different and it's a different technique. But I don't know. I can't think of like a
I
athlete.
think it's all encompassing. The question is, like, how do you overcome, or how often is it that people have different goals and it shifts, and they're kind of not wrong in asking, but maybe their mindset is a little off. I used to get that a lot, but I feel like now it's kind of all encompassing where we have so many good coaches and
Mm-hmm.
coaches that know what they're talking about, and they're also good role models.
Mhm.
And so it's almost not that the athletes are kids, but it's also like, what are mom and dad doing? And you realize they're not watching every calorie they eat, but they're eating generally good food, whole food. They're not eating taquitos. They're eating meats and vegetables, and not the no no not yeah.
I mean, have you had taquitos?
I didn't say Totino's, pizza rolls.
Okay, I love both, actually.
He
Sure.
loves those.
Yeah, how
He
many
calls them taquitos.
taquitos? Yeah.
But now I don't get that as much anymore. Because I think we just have so much maturity in our coaching and our experience that you just you can answer confident, like, hey, that's a great
Mhm.
question, but that's just not real. Some of our best looking athletes, male and female, that you're wanting to look like if you were to name a name, I want that body. They either use a barbell or they push themselves on a heavy kettlebell or heavy dumbbell, or uh, basically the common denominator is resistance. Intensity is force times distance divided by time. Work is force times distance. Force is your weight, the resistance,
Mm-hmm.
and you can emulate that through increasing the weight or driving your body past its point of like homeostasis, meaning like if I do 10 air squats and rest and keep doing that, I'm not really going to get my legs to where they're being taxed. But if I go to 15 or 20 or 25 or 30, you're really starting to
Mm-hmm.
um and so yeah, you either have to be more intense or start pushing more weight. And the barbell is just the easiest thing to do that, because yeah, like moving a 70-pound dumbbell for me is really awkward, and you can hurt your shoulder or your whatever, or drop it on your toe. But a barbell you can load to whatever. So but yeah, anyways, long story short is people just watching and realizing and trusting the process. We've been here for almost 20 years, and you look at everybody going, oh, like not just the coaches, but also the athletes. I'll look like her if I just do this every day. Yeah. And then there's no more questions.
Yeah. So I'll shift it real quick because we're talking a little bit about like we're kind of like in the CrossFit side and the knowledge side, but I feel like we need to, for anybody who doesn't know like the full story, there's probably, I would even say the majority of the people here at this gym, uh, ever since they've been coming, you've been a coach or in that GM role or whatever. So you want to try to do a rundown of the timeline of going from you had to come in and your mom had to basically help you get signed up because you were shy, and your timeline then rolling into not just competing, but starting to coach and how that worked, and then into the roles you're in now.
Yeah. So yeah, my mom, she did all the talking. I don't think I said a single word to Andrew in our session.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You didn't need to. You showed me enough. The pull-ups, like you can jump into class.
You'll be fine.
But yeah, so I used to work out at 4 o'clock every single day. I would work out and I would go home. I didn't stick around. I didn't talk to anybody. And then let me think. So I got I got certified as a coach in May of 2016. And I didn't tell Andrew. I just did it. Because I'd have to talk to him. And so I got
I
certified.
can relate completely. I get in trouble with Candace for this. She's like, you don't tell me anything. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm good.
So I think I was certified for like, I don't know, a couple months, whatever. And my memory is very good. It's like weird. I can pick up all like different things, but I remember I was sitting. I think we had the Mike Pender wall. Anyways, the rowers were out. I was sitting on a rower. A bunch of people were hanging out. Andrew was sitting there. And I don't know if he had brought up the topic of like coaching or if somebody else had, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm certified. And he was like, I guess kind of like rolled with that of like, what do you mean? I was like, I went and got my L1. Like I have my L1. And then I think from there, I just started the coaching process. I can't really remember how that kicked off. It was terrible. I was the hardest one for Andrew to train. I think at the time, I don't know how long it had been since you had a new coach before me.
I don't know who was coaching. Was Kurt? Was he coaching?
He was my coach.
Josh.
And Josh.
Mm-hmm. Was
So
Ashley there?
she was 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So
That during that time, yeah, that was. I mean, it was slim pickings. I was coaching a lot. So.
yeah. But I started the process, so all of our coaches go through like a training process, and it's solely up to the coach or like the person in training, their progress, and obviously like who's helping them. I think I took like 6 months.
You did. 6 months is the number for sure.
Nobody's gotten to that point. I'm gonna hold that trophy loud and proud.
Yeah. So anytime we get a new coach on, they're like, "How long is this process?" It can be a week. It can be 4 weeks. It can be 2 months. Sophia took 6 months.
Look at her now.
Yeah.
She's doing fine.
Yeah.
So I went through the whole process, and I mean, I'll tell everybody this all the time. Andrew does like a test out with that coach of like mimicking what you could have in class. Okay. He was doing squat clean with med ball. So med ball squat clean. And I started crying because I could not get him to do the freaking squat clean. And I just was like, I'm so stressed out right now. Like I'm already nervous having to talk to him and like deal with him. And now I'm having to teach him how to do a med ball squat clean. And we settled and it was fine. And obviously I started coaching. I think I was 20 or 21. Oh my gosh.
I can't remember that far back.
What was that? I'm 30. So 25. I was about 21-ish, give or take.
You were young for sure.
And I started coaching. And I started coaching the 3 o'clock class. And I had Donnie Burke, Oscar, Bert Caruth, and Dusty Stinson. They were the 4 guys at 3 o'clock. Because 3 o'clock was a smaller class.
Mm-hmm.
And so like
not anymore.
No, it's the opposite now. But they were my first class. And I loved them. Like, because it was so small and it was coachable and it was fine. And I felt good about it. And then I had to coach 4 o'clock, which was an absolute madhouse. And that was really hard. Because
so, not to interrupt you, but 4 o'clock back in the day. So now we have obviously a bigger space. We've developed better systems. We have more of a schedule. We have processes to starting. Back in the day,
no structure.
Nothing. And so 4 o'clock for a while would have 30 people, 35. Yes. We cap at this building with like, I think it's 21 something. And we can fit more, but I mean, we'd have 30. So I can imagine that was a little stressful.
Oh, I cried during that one too. I remember it. I was standing between the bathroom doors and there was...
While you were coaching?
Yes.
Cry break.
I remember there was so much going on. I feel like the expansion was still in process and like there's stuff going on behind me. And I feel like Candace might have had like a kids class. There was just so much. It was during the summer. And Andrew came up. He's like, yeah, we got to fix this. And I was like, I'm trying. Like it was just like... Just the pressure. It's me. It's the amount of pressure I put on myself. But I do remember when I first started coaching, I don't think it took well to athletes. I think they were a little like, not sure about this one.
Why do you think that?
Um, but
So
I got more comfortable with it, obviously.
yeah, so when did you start to feel confident as a coach, or how long do you feel like that took?
I would probably say when I started training coaches.
Hmm,
So, I
that was
think
last year.
wow, guys. So, by the way, Will Stacy was actually at the time.
Yeah.
So so you when you say training coaches, you don't mean in class, you mean training them
To
to be a
coach, yeah.
coach,
So it's let me think.
which I love that answer because obviously at my job I do some teaching and training and whatnot. And like when I came on the SWAT team, even going to SWAT school, right, where you are then dubbed able to do the SWAT job, that doesn't mean anything. Just
Mhm.
like getting your L1 doesn't mean that you now can just go be a great coach or
Yeah.
whatever. And I tell people all the time that I feel like my building clearing and stuff like that, once I started teaching building clearing to other people, I feel like that's what like stepped up my confidence level
Yeah.
and whatnot. So it sounds like it's the same way,
Yeah.
like in that realm.
I think because like I knew the expectations and I really did learn a lot from Andrew. I mean, he poured a lot into he saw a lot more in myself than I saw for a very long time. Um so I don't know how he did or what, but he saw
Mhm.
something. And I think the first Brandon, I think I trained Brandon Jones
Probably.
or and
You could
then
have. And he's quick.
he was
He's real
very
quick.
quick. Lee was quick. Um, but I don't know. I think that's when I was like, okay, like, because I could see the product being replicated to what the expectations we had for coaches. Um, so I think it was more of like, okay, like we like created that coach, not created, but like, like held that standard for that coach and they can do it. So yeah.
And I think what you're speaking to is like in coaching, there's certain absolutes. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like to me, your lack of confidence came from a place of you want to do it exactly right.
Oh
And I
yeah.
would have to tell you, there is no exactly right.
Yeah.
There are exactly rights, like mechanically of protecting the knees and protecting your back. And that's the easy stuff just to memorize.
Mhm.
The things that aren't absolute are how to say how to get into that position
Mhm.
or how to smile or how to come off as,
Oh yeah, he had to teach me how to smile.
and like timing and how to talk and go over and out like that stuff, even as small, like with SWAT, like you can read a playbook, I'm sure, on every scenario, but it really is like an in the moment thing where you have to make decisions based on your experience. And that takes a long time, a lot of practice.
Yeah, and even going back to the coaching side of things, so I still remember my time coaching here, and you have to like once again, like you're saying, you can't just say the way to squat is this. That doesn't work for everyone. You have
Mhm.
to basically figure out that athlete specifically and how they better like understand things, and then you have to be able to speak to them directly in order to get like the correct result out of their form or out of their lift or whatever it is.
Yeah. Did you coach at the first building?
Mm-mm.
The
Second.
very first building, no, no. So I was at
That
the
was Van
second
Road.
building.
So you were the behind the pants store. You coached
Mhm.
there.
Yes, yeah. So just behind the pants store, that was the only time I was a coach, and I had a crazy intro process.
Let's hear it. I have no idea. I literally,
You don't
I'm
remember?
looking forward to hearing this.
All right. So once upon a time, uh, and let's see, what do I want to leave out? Yeah.
Golly, what
Jeez.
are you about to say?
Well,
Cut.
yeah, I may cut this part out. I didn't have my L1 the first time I coached by
Oh,
myself, but this would have been December of 2010. Is this ringing any bells for you?
No.
for Andrew, no.
There's
So
no bells in here.
No.
uh so me and Pat were living downtown at the time and driving to CrossFit and working out and whatnot. And we were there every single day. And I think I'd helped people with form and stuff like that, but at that time it was just Andrew running the classes. And he called me and he was like, "Hey man, are you going to the gym today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to get off the interstate." And he was like, "Hey, apparently I didn't realize that I'm required to be at my sister's rehearsal dinner for her wedding." And I was like,
Oh
"Yeah,
my
dude, you
gosh.
have to be like." She was getting married that Saturday. Rehearsal dinner was on a Friday.
This is I don't remember this at all, but this sounds way too real.
No, yeah.
Just pre-Candace.
I couldn't make this up. He was like, "Yeah, so I have to be there. I guess I'm gonna close the gym." And I was like, "I- I'll run it if you want me to. Like, not trying to like steal your show or whatever, but yes, you have to be there. If you want me to run the class, I'll run the class." And then it was just boom. Then I ran it and things went just fine and kind of just started coaching from there.
That's hilarious. Did you end up getting certified though?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yes. It used to not require it at all.
I
And
didn't think they
the
did.
CFL one, when I went, they would send you some journal articles to read. I got certified in '08, and I spent every dime, uh, which was not much money back then, to go. And I couldn't afford a hotel room. And my dad was like, "Where are you going this weekend?" I was like, "I'm going to West Virginia.
Oh my
I'm
god.
going to get certified." Because they didn't offer them anywhere. It was either West Virginia or California, basically. And I drove, and my plan was to park at the gym and just sleep in my truck. And he found out and then gave me the $100 to stay at
Get
the
a
place.
hotel.
But I was getting certified. And I read every single journal article, prepped for the test, took the 2-day certification, and then they handed me the certificate, and then I left. I was like, "Wait, when's the test?" They're like, "That's it. You're certified." And so I'm sure, like, injury rates, that's why injury rates went sky high, because you could just go and keep your ears
Mhm.
off and your eyes shut and get that certification. That's not the case anymore.
Mm-mm.
And all the coaches are certified, and we're very serious about all that. But yeah, back in the day, it was a wild west.
Yeah, my certification. So that would have been my first class teaching in December. I maybe taught a few classes in January, and then that's when Andrew was like, "Hey, if you want to coach, let's get you certified."
Yeah.
And so sent me out to Atlanta to get certified because they started having more places to do it. And I remember being in class and they were like, "Now L1, once you complete this course, you're gonna be teaching, we're gonna give you the skills to teach, three or in crazy worlds up to five people." And I'm like, "Okay, five, cool. Okay, five." And they were like, "Is anybody coaching already?" And like there was a bunch of people who were like, "I've been
Yeah, of
coaching."
course.
And I'm like, "Been coaching." They're like, "Who's coached more than three people at a time?"
Bunch of hands
And they
go
were like,
down.
and then like and then there were like five people, and then like a bunch of hands went down, and there was like me and someone else. And they were like, "Who has coached eight people?" And I'm like, and then me and this person are, and they were like, "Okay, how many you coach?" Like, and the person was like, "We had a really big day one time, and I got 12." I'm like, "Oh shoot!" They were like, "Well, what about you?" And I was like, "I've coached 22 people in one class," and they were like, "You can't be doing that." And I'm like, "Well, don't know what to tell you. There were 22
That's what
people there. I had to do it."
happened.
And they were like, "Well, that's not your average, though." And I was like, "No, average is like 12 to 15." And
Yeah.
they were like, "You need to have your L2 before you do that." And I'm like, "No, I don't." Hadn't been having it. Everything's been fine. So, but yeah, it's a way different process now.
And
And
we
Yeah.
tell coaches that as well. Like, I definitely respect education, but it's like the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. And we have a very lengthy eval process before coaches ever join. Like we've talked about, Sophia was 6 months. And that's because that L1 is good to have and it's necessary. It's like a college degree, but it doesn't teach you the information. It
No.
teaches you what a hip extension is instead of a back extension, not how to actually talk to someone that's 74 with bad knees and has confidence problems. That requires an expert, somebody who's been
Mhm.
doing it for a while to say, this is how we're going to handle that. So,
I mean, they went over like GHD and ring muscle ups.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And
we
I
ain't
was
doing that
like,
stuff.
what? I mean, I was like, I'm here for it, but like it's not like realistic to like go into their gym the next week and be like, all right, guys.
Yeah, and I'm not dogging CrossFit at all. Obviously, it's CrossFit Trussville is the name of our gym, but talking about how kind of disjointed that can be at times. Greg Glassman was the founder, and during 2020, you know, during COVID and all that stuff, it was awful. The gym shut down. We ran
Mhm.
out of equipment. We're doing coffee and Bible studies and everything remotely, and we hop on a Zoom call and Greg Glassman's like, we're going to help you guys get through this and provide programming, I was like, oh my gosh, thank the Lord, remote programming. Thank goodness. Because I've never done remote programming. I'm having to learn it now.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody's like, well, what's the program going to look like? And he's like, we're going to release it in the next 48 hours to get in your hands. And by the time we get done, all of your athletes will be able to do a pirouette on parallel bars. Yeah, what?
Uh,
And if you don't know, parallettes are
cannot
elevated.
know
It,
this.
it's like a pommel horse. You, I mean,
The world
It sounds like a great deal.
it would be next to the pommel horse. Like your kid, even your kids that go to gymnastics don't do this. Like your older male athletes definitely would, but parallettes are even for general class. Like the hardest thing you would do is like sits or like abdominal control.
Mhm.
And everybody in the group's like, "All right, cool." Although I'm like, I'm sure my face went, "What? Pirouettes on parallettes?" First of all, nobody has parallettes. Second of all, nobody can do a handstand on parallettes. Let alone a pirouette, which is I don't know if you can see my hands. Can you see my hands on camera? So parallette, you're doing a freestanding handstand push-up 12 inches off the ground, and then you put your hand here and then here to do a
Mhm.
180-degree spin, which is an advanced skill.
So everybody here can do that now because of the
Yeah,
programming.
yeah, yeah. I at the time was the only person that could do it, and it's because I trained it because I used to do crazy stuff on my Instagram. But that's a very advanced skill. So, yeah, CrossFit, yeah, has been disjointed at times. Yeah, I don't want to go too far off onto that point, but
All
yeah.
right. All right. So, you jumped into like training coaches, but you started coaching classes,
Mhm.
and then how did you become GM here, and what was different with that versus just regular coaching? What were the different roles or add-ons that you had when you took on that job?
Okay. So graduated in 2017. At the time, didn't really know what I was gonna do, and then I started working for Dusty at his recruiting agency. Yes, like the staffing agency things, right?
Okay.
And so I was like, he just asked me, he was like, "Do you want some part time work?" Because I know like fresh out of college. And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I was still coaching at the time. And so I went part time with him, and then he was like, "Can you go full time?" And I was like, "Yeah, but can I work like 7 to 3 so I can still go to the gym?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." And so worked there, did office manager stuff, hated it. I'm really good at organizing things, very good at organizing things. Like, okay, so I approached Andrew and I was like, hey, like, I think I could help like back end stuff with the gym because like I'm really good at that stuff. So we had a conversation and we ended up creating
Operate.
operations manager position. So that required I did my 2 week notice with Dusty and I went full time with Andrew. And essentially what that looked like was coaching 20 something classes a week. What?
Up to 20.
Up to
It
20?
was yeah, it was up to
Yeah.
20. Mhm.
And that's
Or it may
kind
have
of
been 20 minimum. I can't
I
remember.
can't remember.
It's definitely evolved. I think it went from 20 minimum,
Uh-huh.
and then we flipped it with GM to up to
Yeah.
because you had way more
Yeah.
responsibilities. Yeah.
So basically full-time coach. And then what's so funny?
Apparently, that works really well with you.
What?
Well, obviously I coached here, and then for a while I was the director of operations, right? I was doing the website and stuff like that, and it happened very similar way. I
Really?
was digging ditches for Mike Pender, like
I didn't know you worked for Mike.
classic gardens, and it was appreciate him giving me a job, and
Yeah.
I needed money. But holy crap, there's nothing that'll like make you more motivated to find another job. I love Mike Pender. Classic Gardens was awesome, and it was actually like a pretty cool work environment. But that's why I was in such good shape. I would freaking get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and just go just crack rocks and whatever and plant and sod and all that sort of stuff. And I would eat my pork chops and apples at lunch, and then I would
Oh,
come
yeah.
work out and coach and then like work out some more. And I told Andrew, I was like, "Hey, man, I would like to work full time here." And he was like, "What would that look like?" And I told him, right? He did the same thing to you?
It's
Like,
like,
what?
"You tell me." I'm like, "I don't know."
He did the same thing with me. He was like, "What would that look like?" And so I basically said this, this, and this. And he said, "Shoot, let's give it a whirl." And then up until the point I came police officer, I was full time here.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's why I started laughing, is because it literally, like what you're saying, I was like, huh, that's his thing. So for anybody out there that wants a job, just go to Andrew and tell him, "Hey, I would like for you to pay me full time, and here's what I think I can do." It may not work anymore, but it's worked at least twice.
Yeah, I mean, the way I approach that, honestly, I've had those conversations with a lot of people. Some came to fruition, some not. But uh, you know, organization is not my strong suit. That's your strong suit. We're doing a
Mhm.
lot of personality tests with the gym, see how we work well together. And there's one simple one where you're a camel, a lion, a monkey, or a turtle. And I wish the turtle was not a turtle because it sounds like a lame animal, but um not to go into all of them, but I'm a lion. Lion is not the best, even though it,
It's the coolest.
the lions think it's the coolest, and that's part of the line. It's like, oh, thank goodness I'm not the turtle. But when I did my first test, we all got in groups, and I wanted to go hang out with the turtles. I was like, oh my gosh, my people, like I'm over here with, yeah, a bunch of extroverted whatever. And so but that's my personality type, and there's a lot of weakness with that. And Sophia is as much of a camel as I am a lion, and we are those as much as Candace is a monkey. And the monkey is extroverted, happy to be around people. And so, to build a successful organization, you definitely need to have people that have complementary weaknesses and strengths. And when somebody approaches with hey, can I do this? It's literally just putting pen to paper and calculating up like contribution versus cost. And if it benefits everybody, then it's good. And sometimes, like even starting a business, you go, oh, I shouldn't even start. I shouldn't even, I can't do this. And so, yeah, you guys in that in its simplest form, when you were saying, hey, can I do this? I literally probably just went home, got on Excel, spent hours or days or however long creating tables to see what the end result was. And if it was positive, it's like, let's go because we're all going to win together, you know?
Yeah, so we
So yeah,
created
not to
that
cut
role.
you off.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
We created that role, and that was 2018, so that was after the new year, the new you thing that we had done, like, what, 2017 maybe? Or was it the same year?
It was, I can't remember. It was either 16 or 17. Uh, Reboot started in 17 or 18. I can't
I
remember.
can't track it.
Basically, 6 months after we did that new you, we did
Yeah.
we did reboot.
And so then obviously did operations manager, and then that evolved to GM, which took on a little bit more roles and like management and alleviating some things from like Candace, because Maddie's 5, so 2020, yeah, she's a COVID baby. That's when I started doing more like I think the social media, maybe. I can't
I think you were doing
remember.
social media when you were operations manager.
Yeah. But yeah, it just kind of like evolved and kind of just became more than I thought it would. Um, so yeah.
So talk social media then. How do you like doing social media? Because that's obviously something that we are diving hard into with
Yeah.
Horizon and whatnot, and what I do for the department. So how do you like social media?
Like doing it,
Mhm.
I don't mind it. I like being able to like tell the story of the person. It is hard at times though, like generating like content and like thinking of things. I'm really bad about like in the moment, like, oh, this would be so cool. So then I'll take a note and do it later because like I can get a little scattered with that, but I
Mhm.
don't mind it. I think it's yeah. I mean, you can schedule stuff in advance too, so that's very nice.
Mm.
So that helps. But more of like in the moment stuff. I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. Then I just set it to the side and do it
So
different.
do you more schedule stuff out, or you want to schedule post, or do you post in the moment? Because I'm a post in the moment,
I
big
kind
time.
of both. Like I'll pull pictures from the camera and I'll have like what?
No, no. I'll talk after. I do social media too for Drip.
Oh
So
wait.
let me have the turn. I would
No,
love for y'all to know how I
no, no,
work.
no, no, no. So me and Sophia are talking
'Cause
here.
I'm
Okay.
different.
So anyway,
I'm
Sophia,
different.
us two professional social medias here.
I'll pull pictures. And I'll use Lightroom because you guys have used that. That's what you guys told me to use, and
Mhm.
it's really good. I mean, it is good. Um,
Andrew
and
doesn't like Lightroom.
No, I was converted immediately. I don't like subscriptions.
But
I
that
hate
one's
it.
necessary.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Subscription fees are so cheesy because you're locked in indefinitely. I'd rather spend $200 once than $20 forever because you spend way more. Anyways, Lightroom was 20 bucks, and I was like, "No, we ain't doing it."
So when are you offering the one-time CrossFit fee to get people out of subscriptions?
People do that. We actually had people ask. It's a lifetime membership. I don't want to put a number on this, but most gyms do it. It's like $15,000, and you never pay again. So I don't. I would have to do the math, but I know a lot of people um, that would prefer that. So yeah.
All right, so back on you, social media.
Um, yeah, I think sometimes I schedule in advance, like if I have like a good like idea or something, but more so I've tried in the past to like get like a content calendar,
Mhm.
but sometimes it's hard to like follow that. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have a great system behind it.
Not to jump in, but
Oh,
so
Go
geez.
ahead, tell us how you do social media.
I created a post and graphic that went out on Tuesday. I think we got nominated. CFT got nominated for
Oh yeah.
three different 2025 awards. So I messaged Steph. I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to post this um, for tomorrow," and of course, I'm scheduling it because that's my workflow. So I get on Meta, I get on Planner, I go to the week, and when she does social media, I mean, there's like dozens of stories every day and posts, one or two posts per day, and it's very. I mean, it's our social media is second to none. Like Sophia does an incredible job. She won't say that, but I will. And that's part of the reason why we're so successful is because she tells our story, our brand, our culture, and she also tells the athlete's story. I mean, she'll say how many kids they have, what they do for a living, because she knows them. And it's not because it's a business thing, it's because she actually knows and cares about the people. And but yeah, I go to the planner and there's thousands of pieces of content on every single day, and there's nothing in the future, like nothing scheduled at all. I was like, oh my gosh, like I mean, I couldn't do that. I post I mean, for I do the blog post for 4 businesses. Those are done through January, like because I can.
I bet he was like, I need to text her. And he's like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
I didn't want to mess anything up, but I scheduled
he
it.
was he's like sweating. He's like,
So,
schedule
but
this
yeah, for
fast.
drip, I mean, my stuff you can only go. Do you know that you can only go 4 weeks in advance?
No.
Yeah, so I knew that because there's no way she's done. I go to the max 4 weeks,
Mm-mm.
and then every 2 or 3 weeks I'll go to the max 4 weeks again. So that way I have time if I need to pivot or edit or add stuff.
I'm
Uh,
like 1 or 2 days.
I can't imagine. That surprises me. I would imagine that would be flipped. That I'd be flying by the seat of my pants on social media, and you would be the one super scheduled.
um, yeah, maybe like because it's so like easy for me to
Hmm.
like think of something. Like I know one day this was a couple weeks ago. Spoiler. I didn't have anything for Friday, like on a Friday. And I was like, huh, dropped a bomb on that one. But then I was like, oh, we have open gym tomorrow and somebody just took a group picture. So open gym, here we go.
Hmm.
So I think some of it can be like, I can have fun with it. Like it's kind of creative, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I try not to overanalyze it.
So yeah,
What?
no, I post in the moment for sure because especially with the PD, like
Oh,
yeah, I don't schedule something out because like uh, just for an example, this hasn't happened, but could just like let's say we have I want to post that our officers just went through a driving school and this and this and they got all this extra training on driving, and I schedule that post out because I know that's going to happen during the week. And then one of our officers gets in a car crash running code
Wow.
and
yeah.
I forget,
Mhm.
and then that's like gonna be really bad. You know what I mean? Like so I post definitely in the moment there. The only time I plan posting is for Horizon and whatnot. And I try
Yeah.
to strategically do that to where I really like if I'm gonna schedule post, it's gonna be like Carline. That's like my favorite time to post is
Oh,
when
yeah.
when I know a lot of people are sitting in Carline for
Mhm.
30 minutes and scrolling on their phone. That's when I try to get stuff out
Okay, so
live.
you were saying driving school. So they teach police officers how to like drive?
Yeah, they can't drive.
Like for like what do you mean?
Well, okay, so for example, you had to be taught how to drive a car and the
Yeah.
rules of the road, and then we have lights and sirens and drive extremely fast at times and have to chase people and
Mm.
stuff like that. So yeah, it's EVOC, Emergency Vehicle Operators Course, I believe, or I just made that up. I don't know. But
Sounds
yeah,
right.
there's all sorts of different driving type schools, and like skid car is always a fun one. Like they'll make the car like loose in the rear, so as it swings out to the right, you learn how to correct it to keep from spinning out or crashing or whatever.
Oh.
So yeah, there's definitely like advanced vehicle operator classes that you can go to.
Hmm.
So I want to jump. I don't know if I wanted to jump to the fire at the gym.
Light it up.
Um,
Oh, is that a bad one?
Ba-dum.
yeah, light it up.
Touchy subject.
Yeah, what was going through your mind? So we've talked about. Let me just ask a question. So you can answer this differently. Like the first time you walked in, the first time you realized the extent of the damage, or the first time you like drove up. What was that like? And you saw the smoke.
Or the
And,
phone call, how you
and
found out about it.
yeah, and then like what went through your mind?
Okay. So it was a Sunday afternoon.
You were GM at this time, correct?
Yeah. Um, and I had applied to grad school. So this was May and grad school started um in August. Classes had to start. Yeah, because I in 2023 I went back to UAB 3 days a week, August through May, April
Mhm.
ish. I just finished because I had a couple classes I was missing. Anyway, so yeah, I was at home. Girlie called me, and that was not uncommon for her to call me. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Hey, Kim just drove by the gym and she said that she saw like smoke coming out of it." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, she said like she might have seen some smoke, but she wasn't sure." Like, and I was like, grain of salt, like we're behind a railroad track. And I was like, "There's no." I was like, I said, "All right, I'll touch base with Andrew and see like if he was back there like sawing something. Like, I don't know, like cuz he's always building something." So I hung up with her and literally Caroline Lambert called me. Never calls me. And I was like, "Hello?" She's like, "Hey, Sophia, the gym's on fire." I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "It's on fire. We're standing in front of it and like the fire trucks are here and it's like it's burning." And I was like, "Okay." And so Lee was in the office with me. We're at home. And I was like, "We got to go." And so we dipped out. For some reason, he let me drive. So I am like hauling. And he is like, he's like,
He's got his feet kicked up.
he is like, we don't need to get pulled over. And I was like, well, they'll find me there, so it's fine. Like, we'll be at the same place. Yeah, so I probably did break. It's fine. But anyway, so I pulled up and I just kind of was like, I saw the black smoke and like I'm standing out there, we're talking, and just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't really think anything. I was just kind of like, we can't really react until we really know what's going on. And so, like, obviously, like, they were putting it out and stuff. And Schmoll came up to me and he was like, hey, I'm just going to tell you it's pretty bad. And I said, okay. And so Brandon Jones and Schmoll took me over to the reboot door. So that door had popped open. And like as we're walking over there, Schmoll's like talking to me and stuff. And I was like, okay, like, cause the building itself was up. Like it
Mm.
was, you
It's
could,
fine. Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
So when he took me
Other
to
than
the,
like broken windows and stuff
yeah,
like that.
And I mean, Chris said the same thing to me. Yeah, because the firefighters broke the windows, and the same thing Chris said to me. And I don't know why, but when he said that to me, like it's bad. My brain thought he was like messing with me, like joking. Isn't that weird?
I
Like,
didn't think when he said that, I was like, grain of salt. Like,
yeah,
okay, like, well, let's get inside.
yeah,
Like, let's see what we're working with.
Because there was never any big flames either,
never.
really.
Yeah, it was,
Mm-mm.
and it was like white smoke. So
So yeah, when he showed me reboot, I did break down. And Bridget was with me, and then they took Schmoll and Jones once they got everything cleared and like whatever. They took Candace and Andrew and myself. They took us inside. Um, and I think I was just kind of like in shock of like we walked in and it was not what you would have expected to see. I mean, water was dripping. It was stinky. It was hot. I mean, it was truly like, it was unreal. And we walked in, and there's where it was almost like it wasn't real.
yeah,
I did giggle because like the slam balls were still there,
yeah.
and I was like, what?
Why
Like,
didn't those go away?
yeah.
They're indestructible.
And I kind of just took it in, and I was like, what's the next step?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, people were like, you go work out. We can go to the park. We can rent a room or did it. And I was just like, we gotta like, and people are texting us, and then just kind of, I think I was more like, okay, where do we go from here?
Mhm.
I was never like, this is the end. I was just like, what's the next step? Where are we going to be tomorrow?
Mhm.
And then that's when Andrea talked to Gabriel, and then Candace and Andrew and I went up to the church, and we're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And I think I was in like work mode. Like, I don't know what you would call it, but like, there's like get it done. And so then that's when we got the equipment was the next day. So I didn't even coach at the church that morning, the 8-9. I was getting equipment. And so we had trailers, we're moving, and then I did coach that night. And I do remember I sat back in a chair in front of the sound booth and I started crying because I was like, what are we doing? Because like I just coached 7 o'clock, people showed up, and I just cried, and I was like, this is insane.
I'm loving that we're having this conversation because it was so solution oriented from my perspective. Like I never even checked in on her. Like I never was like, hey, how are you doing? What are your thoughts? Are you okay? Do you know that your job is still safe? Like
Mm.
it was just because in that moment, even for the next 2 years, you have so little time to do anything that you
Mhm.
can't. It's not that that would have been a waste, but it would have distracted us from getting to it. So
But honestly, though, if he would have asked me, I would not have told him like what my thoughts were. Like I would have told Lee, but like I would not have told Andrew because I mean it's a way bigger deal for him and Candace. Like,
Oh, yeah, 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 like, you don't wanna get into, like, "Woe is me with my problems,"
oh
when it's
no,
his
I was like, we'll
building.
figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like, this was like more so like this was like Candace and Andrew's like livelihood. Like,
Mhm.
and we're gonna make it work. And he's an engineer. So like, and I was going back to school. And so like but like in that moment, it wasn't like I never thought about like me. It was just like,
Mhm.
what are we doing from here? And then obviously, like, everything was fine. Like, we rolled there for 2 years. We had containers and yeah, I think the first day was more of, like, exhaustion and, like, really processing, like, okay, I did not coach at the gym because we had Cinco de Mayo Friday. I made a reel that day. I made a reel on Friday of people on the rowers in the skis and talking about I don't even know. And then Maggie Cochran worked out Saturday before she had Colt. She had Colt Monday. She came to open gym on Saturday and took a picture with Kayla and Casey. And Boy Lee and I did a workout together. Had like handstand push-ups and like toes to bar and like squat cleans. Like we worked out like it was normal. And then Sunday it wasn't, but then Monday. So the time like was so fast.
Mm.
So you don't really have time to like reflect on it. You just kind of do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we'll talk about her becoming an owner, but that's one of the things while she was talking is that she didn't you didn't say that you didn't think of yourself, or you may have, but you said you just started like solving and like you were thinking of everything else. And that's part of why you're an owner, is because of that visceral reaction wasn't victimhood. I mean, it could have been easy just to break down and cry, but I mean, in that moment, that was, you took ownership. And that's, we'll talk about it more, but that's one of those characteristics. You can't fake that, like just to immediately see your job literally up in flames and go, okay, I got people to take care of. How do we do this?
Oh, and that same day, Lee was puking. Miley was throwing up during the fire.
Because
Why?
he was.
He got sick.
Oh.
He was like, "I don't feel good." And I was like, "I ain't got time for this right now."
Was he sick? Is that why
Yes.
you drove?
No, he was fine. And then like we were leaving to go to the church and literally the turn for the waterworks like turn,
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm gonna throw up." And I'm like, I popped the curb because I was like, "You're not puking in my car." And he threw up. He threw up in the parking lot of Bryant Bank too.
What? This
Yes.
is on the way to the
So
gym?
we were
You
going
think
to the fire. We were there. He was at the car and he's like, "I don't feel that great." And I was like, "Okay, like go to the gas station, like get Gatorade or water." Cause we were out there for a really long time.
Yeah.
So I had him go get waters for people and himself. And then the next thing I know, he was throwing up in the parking lot. I think he ate like bad chicken nuggets or something.
Of course it would
But
be
I
chicken nuggets.
literally
You
was
could have just said chicken to make him sound like a man. You had to say chicken nuggets. He's a real man now, we know.
and he blew chunks. And
That's
then
hilarious.
I literally got over and he threw up again. And then Schmoll drove by. I remember Schmoll's like, "We good?" And I was like, "He's fine." But yes, he did throw up.
Yeah, and one thing that you were talking about when, because they put the helmets on us
They did.
to walk in
Mhm.
there. And that, going back to the disbelief, that was one thing that like when Schmoll put, it was either Schmoll, I think it was, I had Schmoll's helmet on, and I think you had Brandon Jones.
Yeah.
Uh, but it was sweaty. And I was like, what the heck? Why is this so wet? I mean,
Hot work, man.
dude. Well, at that time, you didn't know. I mean, I never saw a flame. It just some smoke, and there was really, the pictures after the fact. You see a good bit of
Mhm.
smoke, but in the moment, yeah, you just like, oh, there's some smoke in there, and I couldn't believe how wet
It
it
was
was
yes,
in
it
his
was
helmet, and it's because he was fighting a fire or fighting an oven, really.
Mhm.
So weird.
Yeah, and it was hard for I think people to see other than the smoke because it was on the backside of the
Right.
building,
Mhm.
and there's not really like a vantage point there. I came out and actually put the drone up on it, and then I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah," because the whole building was white hot.
Yeah. All like the melted like rubber stuff, like the mats and the TVs blowing out. Skiers were totally gone, rowers were totally gone.
Which are metal. I mean, it's just
It was
like they evaporated. Just gone. No longer
yeah,
exist.
it was really weird. I think too we also did like a final walkthrough and that was hard for me.
Which at what point? Was this months after or days
Mhm.
after?
Whenever we did the final walkthrough before they demoed it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was hard. Cause like, I mean, I was 17. I met Lee here, met all my friends here, and like you're kind of like, huh, there's that. But then once the building was gone, they started rebuilding. It was fine. But like the final walkthrough was a little eerie of like, yeah, this is the end of it. Cause it did sit, bro. It sat up for like a year.
it did. I actually, not that I had to pull strings or anything, but I had to have conversations with people. Like, can we? tear this thing down? Because people are asking, are we ever going to rebuild, or is the
Yeah.
gym ever coming back? I'm like, we are open. We are at the, people don't follow.
Mhm.
They wouldn't know, but um, yeah, it took a lot of energy to get them to go ahead and pull the trigger, because you get like a Gantt chart of progress, and Blaylock knows here's the most efficient point to demo. And I just was like, we've got to, like, don't care. We've got to show people this thing is going away, because it felt, maybe it was up for 6 months or 8 months or a year. I have no idea. It felt like it was up for
It
a decade.
was. It burned in May and they demoed in April.
Yeah. So almost a full
And
year.
we had shirts made like way before April.
Demo day,
Yeah.
and we showed up way before and nothing happened. It's like, yeah,
We did.
if we're not doing it today, go home.
Jeez. All right, so fire, all that stuff. You're the GM at this point,
Mhm.
right? Um, so talk about or if you want to, I mean, getting through the church just kind of, it is what it, is what it is. Y'all just grinded until the
Yeah.
building was built, right?
Yeah.
And then let's hear about becoming an owner here and how that worked, how that felt, how you feel about it now, all that.
Um so we had, I think it was in November of 24, we had a meeting. Me and Candace and Andrew in church. Or maybe it was some, I have notes. Anyways, I don't even know how the conversation was. We were talking about something, and then Andrew was like talking about giving me equity in the gym. And he was like, and I get it, but like at the time I was like, okay. So, I was like, okay, so like he obviously talked more about it like with me. Um and then I kind of, I don't really know. Like, and then paperwork came in because he got a lawyer to like make up like an agreement
Oh
contract.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty hefty. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a process.
Yeah.
You can't chat GPT that one.
Yeah. So we got all of that, and then I called my mom, and then my mom got our lawyer to like look over it. And he is like big business. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't work like mom pop shop. Like he is like corporate, like huge stuff. So he was asking stuff, and I was like, I don't know. So then I'm like, gosh, I have to ask Andrew these questions now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all like looking back at it, like it was legit. Like in the moment, I was like, this is ick. Like I feel like I'm like second guessing Andrew. But he just wanted like numbers and stuff. And so like all of that was fine. And then when he gave me the thumbs up to sign, I signed it. And then Andrew signed it, like however they do like all the lawyer things.
And,
Um,
and the reason why your lawyer was asking questions is because you were getting equity. You're
yeah.
becoming a partner in a business that's pretty successful, with no strings attached and no money.
Yeah.
And there, if that lawyer was a C plus student, he'd go, no, 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 no. Something.
Something's
What's he getting? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and she would ask me questions. She's acting like the questions were really mean questions from a lawyer. I hate lawyers, but it was like, can you send your 2022, 2023 tax returns? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no
Can
problem.
you send a P&L? Let me get the accountant. I just link y'all up. And she's like, hey, my account's asking, or my lawyer's asking again for like your tax return. It's like, dude, yeah, of course. It's pretty basic stuff. So
I think it was awkward because like I've known Candace and Andrew for so long, and not for a second to like second guess anything. But obviously my lawyer did not know them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fine. And then yeah, so we did all of that, and I don't know. We announced it at Barbells for Boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Girly has known forever. Because I mean I tell her like everything. So she's known the longest. And um yeah, I don't think it has changed like me. I don't know. Like what are you wanting to know about
no,
it?
one of my questions is, do you consider yourself a business owner? What a
I
deep
feel
question.
I feel that. I
Yeah.
feel that.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I am not one for like attention and like titles.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, my mom is an auditor and has like a bunch of like alphabet soup after her name. And she knows how that looks, but it doesn't change like the quality that she gives when she does like conferences and stuff.
Mm.
And so like, yeah, will people view it differently? Absolutely. But will I? No. Um, I think I've always had like a very strong like work ethic. And so like a title for me is not going to determine how I carry myself. Or I mean, even like when I started like coaching like as operations however long ago, like I knew my role was to like be the leader and like the example.
Mhm.
Um and I don't think it like puts any more pressure on me. I think people are gonna view me differently for sure, because co-owner, but I don't like when he texted me, he had us in a group text, Lee, Candace, and I, and he was like, "You need to change like your Facebook thing to like co-owner." I was like, okay. So I mean, obviously I did it after they announced it at Barbells for Boobs. And like everybody loved it. And I love that. Like I do appreciate like all the support that we're getting. Um, but it's not gonna change like my like way I carry myself.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, we both can relate to that. I mean, you go first.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember the text group that Andrew put us in when it was like about to be like time to move in and whatnot? Like all the people
Yes.
involved up here at the Phoenix. Yeah, I do too. And it was like, hey, introduce yourselves. And I was like,
This is so when
"Uh,
he says people, he means all the owners and tenants. The tenants, the businesses here, they own the
Mhm.
businesses. So he's in a group with other business owners.
yeah, because Horizon's based here. And he was like, yeah, everybody introduce yourselves. And they were like, oh, I'm so and so. I'm on Cobb City Church and I'm Max and I own the Dojang and I'm like, I'm James, I make some videos. And he texted me immediately and he was like, hey Goober, like you're the owner of Horizon. You freaking put that. Like you totally dropped the ball. And then I think you put something simple too. And
I don't even
as
know if I responded.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
yeah, but yeah, it was like you totally dropped the ball. And I remember you put something very simple like, hey, I'm with CFT or just
I think that's
something.
what I did
Yeah.
say, yeah.
And then, yeah, he probably sent you a mean text also.
I didn't. At that time, nobody knew, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I have the businesses that I own and the title I am, but I'm the same thing. I mean, I added those probably last year. I mean, we're doing a lot more mentoring and consulting through
Mm.
Horizon, and people need to know,
Yeah.
oh, he's giving me this advice from experience. But me personally, I just want to be in the shadows. Like, I don't want anybody to know who I am or what I do. Um, I love improving things and changing lives and helping people get freedom and stuff like that. A title doesn't is not what provides that. You know what I mean? It's the
Mhm.
self-actualization and purpose, and a title doesn't matter at all. And so it's one of those other small points that like the reason why you are an owner, that's not why you are, but that's one of the attributes of who an owner of something is, a responsible, mature adult that doesn't need a Mercedes Benz to, feel
Mhm.
like they're worth that while they're in debt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's no frills. It's just this is yeah, you deserve this and you earn this, and uh, that's who you are, not the title making it.
Yeah.
You're making it, and you happen to have the title. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's still like a weird. I don't feel like a business owner either, right? And but I guess as things grow, I'll get used to that and whatnot. But it doesn't feel like it's hard for it to feel real. I guess.
yeah, and I was gonna say, you've been a business owner since March.
Mhm.
Same for you, right? March. I've been an owner since 2010, 15 years. I still don't tell people.
Yeah.
meet them at Publix. And they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I coach at CrossFit Trussville." They're like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "Yep."
So you lied to him?
I mean, I do coach about once a year now.
That's what I was getting at.
Basically, I can't see the other day we all got sick. This is last week, and we were all super sick, all kids and me. And she had not gotten sick yet. And she was like, "Hey, I'm coaching Thursday morning. If I get sick, can you coach it?" And I was like, "Yep, I can, but I gotta dust off the old. Yeah, I'm gonna have to prep for this."
So, business owner now doesn't feel any different, which I
No.
think is a good thing because, like you said, it's just going to be same old, same old. I know Andrew got a lot of questions about, so you guys are leaving and whatnot.
Yeah, I had to make a video. I didn't know that I was gonna have to make a video, and we'll do it. We'll do a post. I just got sick, and then we're doing this. This is a great way to announce that she's an owner. But we'll make an official post on Facebook, just to kind of educate everybody. But yeah, in the moment on Barbells for Boobs, I knew that I was going to announce it. I originally planned for Christmas, and I was like, it's just too long. Everybody, this is a good time. Barbells for Boobs, right after the athlete briefing to teach people the extras. Like, all right, everybody, come here, pay attention to this. This is kind of important. I'm never going to say anything like this again, or I've never said anything like this, and I'm never going to say it again. People are like, wait, what? So everybody perked up, but when I explained it, I thought we were all on the same page, and I had people come up to me because I said, "Welcome, the new owners." I don't think I said co-owners. I alluded to that fact that they were now part owners, but then like the last big thing, I was like, the new owners. And owners is a collective term. Like there's multiple
Yeah.
owners, and I think that went through people for a loop, and I didn't realize because after I didn't realize what was people were coming up and hugging me, going, "We're gonna miss you." I mean, stuff like that. Like, you've done such great things here. Like, just thank you for everything. And in the moment, like, oh, it's great. Like,
Andrew's like, whoop. He's like,
that's cool. Like, that's great. That's such a nice thing. And other people, just stuff like that. Like,
How do you feel that nobody tried to talk you into staying?
I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
Hey,
Like,
it's been real.
people are real cool. Like, yeah, like, you've always done great things. Like, thank you, thanks a lot for
Thanks
the
for everything.
time you were here. And then we started talking later, and Soph and Candace, independently of one another, were like, I've had some people come up to me asking questions, like, is Andrew still going to program, or who's going to do programming, stuff like that. Um, yeah, and so I had to make the video and say basically, just because there's additional owners doesn't mean you have to kick anybody out. So we're still as involved as ever. But Sophia has continued to fill a massive void, of her strengths for CFT, and it'll just allow us to do a lot more in the future. We got big plans.
All right. So, favorite part of the job, favorite part of the job or the gym or whatever. Go.
Um, like, okay, I would have to say I really do love coaching. Um, like, as a kid, I want to be a teacher. But getting to like teach people, and as passionate as I am about the sport, that like you at any stage you can do anything that you want to do, and like seeing like that light bulb. I know it's so cliche, like that light bulb moment, but like giving like people that confidence of like you can do this and like your body is capable. But kind of like seeing that happen in the athletes. Like I really do just love coaching and like teaching and just seeing people do things that aren't so common in like a typical like gym setting. Because I really did like going back through like the self-confidence, like I've found my confidence through the sport of like loving like who I am, like my like physical like body, like I am built a little bit different than like most females, but being able to like appreciate that because I can lift really heavy but I can still do really cool things, and like kind of replicating that for like other people. And then like with guys, obviously it could be a little bit different, but like I love when I have to, like, drive an athlete to the ground. Like, I coach 5 a.m. Like, I always have to get onto Zach Wood, and I'm like, "You have got to go faster. Like, I need a little bit more from you." But, like, that stuff's fun, and just, like, you see the same people every day, and they're still showing up, but also you don't really know what they are showing up from. So, kind of being, like, their safe space of like, hey, I don't know actually what you went through today, but we're gonna have some fun in here and you're gonna work out. It's gonna be great. And then you can hang out with your friends after.
Okay, so toughest part or most frustrating part of the job?
um, I would have to say having to I mean, our coaches are really good. So it's not like specific like athletes. I guess it could be, but like that one athlete that you're just like, bro, just drop the weight, scale back. Like understanding stimulus. I'm just like I know, like we want to do this, but like, and then they still don't do it.
So are we talking about ego? Is that
Yeah.
what we're in one word?
But that tends to like
So you're
fade.
typical female.
Yeah.
So like I would say that's probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
And that's tough for many reasons because you're trying to help them.
Yeah.
And that it's a very rare person.
Yeah.
But their main focus is like they're just hyper focused. It's like I'm trying to get you to that point, but to do that, you've got to listen to me. We've got to lower so you can do this safely so you don't
Mhm.
get hurt. Keep getting hurt and not getting stronger. And that same person will ask you like, "Well, I used to tie with Donnie and I was in better shape than Joey, but now Donnie's ahead of me and Joey's ahead of me. So it's not working." And you go, we're all doing the same thing here. How do
Yeah.
I
It's also like you're like, how many times do I need to correct somebody in the same minute?
right.
You're like, if you get to a point, you're like, we'll give it a second. We'll come back. We'll check back in because you don't want to be like, fix this, fix this, fix this.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like everything you're
Yeah,
doing
we're
is
like,
messed up.
are sometimes we're like, we're gonna freeze, we're gonna pause, we're gonna reset, try it again.
Mhm.
But there's nothing there. There's nothing that's like I'm just like I dread about.
Mm.
Yeah. I will have to say the one thing I used to dread was having to mop the floors. We had to run that machine and you're just like and then
Forgot
yeah.
about that. Yeah, this is why I like these conversations because you forget.
Lee would go get Fit 5 in Hoover. This was before they delivered. He'd go pick up Fit 5 on Sundays and we would clean the gym together. We'd run that machine. It'd take about we used to mop with just a mop.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
And that's what I was gonna say. You forget we used to mop.
Like
Yeah,
this
7,500 square feet
and then the yellow bucket.
multiple times a week. Just
Yep.
zoning out.
And then we got that machine. That was good.
Thanks to my dad. He bought
Yes.
that. He probably came
Shout
up
out to Dr. Rick.
at 9:30 on a Sunday, probably, and was like,
Dropped.
"What you doing here, buddy?" And I'm just, I'm sure he's like, "Oh heck no, I'm gonna help my boy." Yeah, I think a little bit better, a little bit better.
Funniest thing that's ever happened here.
Oh
Or
my
do you
gosh.
have or do you I know there's probably a million stories, but do you have
The
like
two that come to my mind.
oh, let's hear them.
So the first one, I was coaching 7 o'clock. And I was at the board talking about the workout. It had like kettlebell swings, like box jumps, and that might have been it. I don't know. But I remember this athlete, they raised their hand. I'm like, question, whatever. And they said, so do do I have to swing the kettlebell on top of the box? And I just kind of sat there for a second. I didn't laugh.
The answer is yes. Yes, now you do. It's a great idea.
And I just kind of stood there and I was smiling because I was like, I'm not going to make a face. This was within the last couple of years. And I was like, wait, what? And they said it again. And I was like, oh no, you'll be on the ground. Like so that wasn't but that was definitely one where I was like, "What?"
What year was this?
This was a couple years ago. Last week, I'll call
This
it
seems
out.
like a 2011 type
Nope.
thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
This was
yeah.
like 22, 23. This was pre-fire. Like, we were here. But last week at 5 a.m., Thomas Lammy, it was 5 a.m., so I get it. I'll give him some grace, but I also can't give him any grace
Are
because
we gonna cut this name, or are we just gonna
you can
freak
call it out. It'll be
Okay.
fine.
No, he's a great guy.
He's
Okay,
cool.
I
He's
was
really
like-
cool. We were doing buy two shuttle farmer's carry was in the workout. So farmer's carry. And it's at 5 a.m. We're getting all stuff out. And he comes up to me and he's
So
like,
farmer's carry, you have 2 weights.
yeah,
in your
carry him to the
hands.
side.
So just to paint that picture,
To paint the picture, they're explaining to you guys the internet. I know what a farmer's carry is.
I'm just because,
So you have two weight. Do I need to tell you?
and it's simple. Everybody knows what this is.
What is happening? I know what a farmer's
I
carry
know.
is.
That's why
Please
this
stop.
that's why this is so ridiculous.
Why are you
Just wait
I
for
know-
it.
So
he
tell me what a
comes up
farmer's
to
carry
me.
is.
He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, for the shuttle, is it 4 points of contact?" And I just looked at him and I was like, "For the shuttle?" He's like, "Yeah, he shows me. He's like, "Is it 4 points of contact?" And I was like, "So it's a shuttle farmer's carry, so you'll be having the dumbbells like in your hand." He goes, "Yeah, but is it 4 points of contact?" And I was like, "No." Like, I just kind of sat there for a second, and then Austin stepped in, and he was explaining it to him. But I was like, "Yeah, I mean, if you want to tap your dumbbells and keep going." But I would say the best one that I can think of, the other one that came to my mind was open gym on a Saturday. Candace and Andrew were out of town. Boy Lee was doing the Saturday fundamentals course. I'm at the squat rack squatting. I had an athlete come in screaming, crying. A man fell off the roof. And Josh and I kind of stood there for a second, and then the athlete said it again, and we just beeline straight to the door. And there's a man in the back. He's like holding his face like this, like bleeding. And I'm like, what just happened? And then Lee comes out, and he was like, he gets the athlete, puts him in a chair. The behind the story, what had happened was Lee did this fundamentals course. The guy did the row burpee piece. And I guess after they got done, Lee was checking on him. They're at the computer doing some stuff. And the guy was like, "Hey, I need to get some fresh air." Lee was like, "Yeah, you can just like go outside. That's fine. I'll come check on you." And the next thing we know is he had passed out. And so he had face planted behind the gym, like in the gravel.
Okay.
So this athlete.
So he didn't fall off the roof.
No.
There was not a man running around on the roof.
But like, I guess when this athlete had pulled up behind the gym, what looked like
Oh.
face down person, where did the roof come into play? I have no idea. But that was one of my thoughts was, who's on the roof?
What man lives on the roof?
So then we
So
had to
many
call like
questions.
911 and all that stuff, and I had to call Andrew. But yeah, that was probably one of them.
That's a good one.
Yeah, basically every time I go out of town,
Something happens.
something. Knock on wood, nothing's happened in quite a while. But yeah, it used to. Somebody would get hurt or some equipment catastrophe, like when Braden broke the only fan that we had in the gym. You know about that one?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was out of town, and we'd say, set the bars down. Anyways, he didn't enforce that, and it skipped and hit
Oh.
the massive $500 drum fan that kept everybody cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he just let me know what happened. He was like, "We bent the blades. It's fine now." And then I came back, and it looked like when you put like too much weight in your washing machine and it starts moving. Yeah, it was not okay. We had to buy a new fan.
All right. So changing it just a little bit again, as I hit chords, and we'll wrap it up here in just a minute. So obviously you have gotten to come train with us at the PD.
Oh yeah.
So how was that experience?
That was so fun. It was kind of like nerve-wracking. I mean, like you get a little nervous, but it was fun. I mean, Except for the time that I like busted. What were we supposed to be doing?
When we were the good guys,
Yes.
not killing people. So we're the good guys. We were the bad guys all day. So the way it works when you do the SWAT training with is somebody is leading that simulation. You know, obviously I'm probably butchering the wording, but it might be a domestic, and so the SWAT team doesn't know if it's not a big deal. They just need to go up there and make some arrests or not do anything at all, or it could be a hostage situation. They don't know. We as the actors, we obviously know, and they tell us what to do, what not to do. Um, so at the end of the day, after us being the bad guy, they actually let us be the good guy. So we got to see kind of their tactics, how they approach things, and our simulation was not a hostage situation, not a domestic. It was really a man had raised his voice at his wife, calling her names, not a crime. And the door's open. So it's like, do we go in? Can we legally go in here? He is kind of loud. So we make the decision to go in. And of course, we immediately draw our firearms. I'm like, so, we've got our pistols pointed at a man and his wife who are just talking. And before we know it, we think this guy looks bad news. Before we know it, somebody runs down the hallway. Hey, what are y'all? Boom! 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 He's dead. He rolls down the stairs. And then the two, they're obviously cops, but the husband and wife are like, my son, you shot my son. Oh my gosh. So I think at that point, somebody comes to the kitchen. Hey, both kids are dead. And they're like, why'd you do that? You're all going to jail. So I fucking, she's going to jail. I'm not going to jail.
Andrew still had all of his bullets.
Yeah.
I was empty.
So you quickly learn that yeah, being a cop, you make a lot of decisions pretty quickly. But that was Sophia's first time being a good guy. Is she took out a whole family, and I think the husband ended up taking the hostage. I guess out of I don't know, and then we killed him too. So the wife and her whole family exterminated.
I was just doing my
in
job.
5 minutes.
I didn't know. I saw somebody running across. I
Just shoot.
Yes.
It was so fun. And I have a question too. One question is, how do you define the word leader?
Oh geez. How do I define the word leader?
Mm-hmm.
I guess man, that's tough.
It is a tough question. Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna say it the best way. Um, I don't know. Like I'm thinking of the leaders that we have in the gym, and like Adrian comes to mind, Will comes to mind, like obviously like our coaching staff, but they are leaders because of the way they present themselves, even when they don't think people are watching. So they carry the same standard all throughout all areas of life. I would say like honesty is a huge thing, the integrity, um, being able to, I mean, yeah, hold the same standard across like in the gym, outside the gym. Like they're not acting out like outside of the gym, like causing problems. They go wherever they go, I feel like they can make their presence known without having to make a statement, like the way they carry themselves.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
I mean, I think what I look for, I mean, actions, um, honesty, and um, kind of, I mean, how do they handle like certain situations? Are they reactive or are they going to assess and process and then be solution oriented and not just like full on like react, you know?
Yeah,
So I guess that's kind of how I would be able
I
to
think it's a great
sum it
answer.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
I mean, what do you guys think?
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, I said you go ahead first.
Um, where's my phone? So I actually have alarms that go off on my phone periodically, just as reminders. And I wrote down the characteristics of someone who I would consider to be a leader and thought of everybody that I think is a leader and tried to write down that personality types. And I try to live these out as well, um, to the best of my ability. And Adrian's, one of those people as well
Mhm.
that, but be a leader who is calm, informed, independent, consistent, patient, steady, intelligent, and educated
Mhm.
is just the qualities that I wrote down that I believe is the person that I want to become or try to live up to. So, and yeah, I don't think I listed integrity, but the exact same thing. When we hire people, I tell them the only way you're going to get fired is if you steal or lie. Like, just don't be dishonest. You can make
Mhm.
mistakes. That's it. You know.
Yeah, I like that answer. Integrity is a huge one. As far as like a leader, uh, leader traits, you don't have to have a business owner tag on you. You don't have to have a CEO tag. You don't have to have rank. Talking about like on the police side or even the fire side, you don't have to have any of those things to be a leader. I kind of think of a leader as really the person that kind of like you're talking about lives their life in a way and makes their decisions in a way that when poop hits the fan,
Yeah.
like there's no question that you're going to go with what they're
Mhm.
doing, right? You can turn to them, and because they've essentially like done all the small stuff well, someone you can trust day in, day out, then you have no question when like the bad stuff is going on because they're doing the little stuff right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I think of like a leader or someone to follow, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. The little things matter.
Mhm.
I have people when I'm, and Lee too, we're fixing the littlest things up here, and people will say, "Why are you doing that? It doesn't even matter." And I've always like, why does it matter so much to me that this little bitty, like this gets shifted or that little thing gets painted? And because yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I've never really thought that those things mattered to anybody, uh, but they do. You know, the little things kind of shape the picture of what the whole is. They do matter.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like when we talk about like with training and stuff like that. And it's I mean really it can be in CrossFit like how do you find your best CrossFitter? They do the basics
Right.
perfect and then they keep doing it some more. Same thing, training and whatnot. It's it's not that difficult, but it's doing the basics until you've got them mastered or feel like you've got them mastered or you're doing them really well. And then you keep doing them some more. And like that's how someone's really good at something typically.
Yeah. And I like what you said that title doesn't mean anything because that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But our culture teaches you the title
Yeah.
comes with all of that, and that's just not the case.
Mhm.
Listen, I've said it before, and I won't tell any specific stories. But if you got to jump up and down and say I'm in charge,
Right.
you're not in charge.
Yeah. You probably
You're
feel
just not.
threatened.
Yeah. Yeah. I've told people in the past too. Like I used to do a mentoring group, and um, like a lot of times the people think the pilot's in charge of the plane, and that's just not the case. the pilots piloting the plane, but like the ground control, you know, they're really keeping all the planes in the sky. And yeah, if you're wanting to get everybody to look at you, yeah, you're not the one actually taking care of anybody. You're just wanting admiration or whatever. And that's just not a characteristic that is a leader. So Jim Rohn, you know who Jim Rohn is? You know who Jim Rohn is?
No.
He's a I guess you would call him a motivational speaker. I don't want to say motivational because that sounds cheesy. He's hyper intelligent. But he talks about the difference between character and charisma. And he's like, and he talks like this. He's like, if you find yourself following a leader who's charismatic, you're not following a leader. You find someone that you're following who has character, you found a leader. And so I've tried to, I think naturally we are drawn to people who talk right and sound right, almost like that politician silver tongue, like they sound good. But when you boil down to the person's character, you judge them by their actions, not what they're saying, then you're good to go. You're golden.
Yeah. Well, anything final before we wrap it up out of either of you?
I don't have anything else. I'm just glad you sat down with us, and I didn't think Soph would do it.
I told you I didn't think she would do it. I was
Oh
like,
my
she didn't even,
gosh.
when we came in here to play with the equipment, right? Because I'm such an equipment junkie, and we came in here to play with the equipment, and she was like, "Don't touch that, Lee. Don't touch that. Don't." It's like,
It's gonna break
you're not gonna
something.
break something.
So, but the future's bright for CFT and everyone involved. And the only reason is you're irreplaceable, and it's great to have you on the team. And we've been open for 17 years. We're gonna be open for 17 more, thanks to you. So, what do you have to say to that? Like, she's staring for it. She can't even. She's like, oh heck no, I'm not. She literally not taking any of that compliment. Like, no, juke it. So.
Deflect. No, it's gonna be good. We have a really good balance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the vision person, Candace is the heart, and I'm the doer. So it all. I mean, we all have the traits too, but it's a very, very good
Yeah.
balance.
Divide and conquer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, wrap us up, and
Me wrap us up?
oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, let's do that. I opened, you close.
Yeah, so we plan on having more talks like this. I'm actually about to go on vacation for about 2 weeks, but I'm sure no one has noticed because no one ever notices. We have a real setup now, so we're hoping that's going to be able to help us kind of crank out some content, do some cool stuff like this. We're gonna have more guests on. And like Andrew's talked about, learning from people who may have an "it is what it is" moment, or local small business owners, and especially stuff like with Sophia, literally going from member to, employee coach to manager, and then now owns part of the business. Incredible story. And finding more people who we can learn from like that, hopefully that you can learn from like that. And so we plan on bringing a lot more content.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, learn. I mean, you can't learn enough, and I'm just excited to continue to learn. We learned a lot from you today, and continue that process.
Cool. All right. So till next time, we'll see you guys. Thanks.